Notice is hereby given that a public hearing on the proposed 2019-2020 fiscal year budget and special meeting of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas will be held on Wednesday, August 28, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. The meeting will be held at Sandy Oaks City Hall, located at 4451 Hickory Haven, Sandy Oaks, Texas, 78112. Can we get a quorum call, Ms. Yelton?
Alderman Tremblay.
Here.
Alderman Rapino.
Here.
Alderman Walker.
Here.
Alderman Tomasini.
Here.
Alderman Garcia is absent. You do have a quorum.
Okay, can we stand for pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me, I have a question. Not yet. Why is there not a Texas flag in here?
That's right.
So we're going to move on to citizens to be heard. We have 3 different sign-up sheets for tonight's meeting. The first one is a general citizens to be heard to address the council. The first name is Grace Alvarado, wanting to talk about the bond.
Oh, I thought we were going over the budget first.
Well,
Okay.
there was another sign up for the bond. Do you want to wait
Oh,
till
sorry,
the
sorry,
bond?
you got them out of order, sorry.
Yeah, because on the agenda it's...
Okay,
You're right.
A.G. San Miguel,
That's me.
okay. You have 3 minutes.
Why is there not a Texas flag in here? The state of Texas is the only state in the United States that has the right to run this flag at the same height as the American flag.
That's true.
And if Texas wanted, it can also separate itself from the Union. The only state. And in every city hall in the state of Texas, there is a Texas flag that I know of, except here.
That flag was donated from a citizen, so if you're
Keep
interested
them
in
right
donating a
back.
flag, we would
Texas
certainly
flag.
take that. Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to item number 4, discuss and/or possible action on the purchase and installation of vehicular mounts for the Toughbook laptops. So, Marshall, the laptops have been ordered, yes?
Yes, the laptops have been ordered. They should be sometime this week. And so with those laptops, we need to be able to mount them inside our patrol vehicles so they stay mounted, they don't go anywhere, and they stay secure. Without these mounts, it would have the computers wouldn't be secure inside the vehicle. So it's paramount that we get these mounts installed inside the vehicle so these laptops can be securely installed inside the vehicles.
So the purchase of the units is $496.45. That does not include any tax. And then $500 to install. So we're looking at, say, $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are they going to charge us shipping? I didn't see shipping. Just a thought. I
On the
just realized
purchase.
that.
Are they charging shipping for the mounts?
I believe so, probably.
So we probably should add some shipping fees on there.
Yes.
Where are they shipping from, do you know?
No, I don't have the paperwork with me. These mounts are obviously they're configured. They have to be sent to the manufacturer, and it takes anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks to make for each vehicle, for the Expedition and for the Impala.
Okay.
So can we just say $996.45 and the cost of shipping?
Can we do that? Approve the purchase and install and then, or you want to, why don't we do a not to exceed number? Yeah,
I don't know what shipping would be.
right. Would someone like to make a motion? This doesn't seem to be working.
Okay. Okay, let me get closer. I'll make a motion that we purchase the mounts for $496.45 and the installation for $500 and add, I don't know, $75 for shipping. I don't know what it'll cost.
I don't know that that's going to be enough.
I don't know how heavy or big these things are.
75 for shipping?
Okay, then not to exceed $1,100 then?
That gives us $100?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Thomasini to approve the purchase, installation, and shipping of the mounts for a price not to exceed $1,100, and a second by Alderman Rapino. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is discuss and/or possible action on the construction of additional walls inside City Hall to include labor, materials, electrical work, and a transaction window. So, this is a safety issue for the people who work in this building, but it's a security issue for the marshal and the court. And so we've had a gentleman come out and give us a bid on building a wall that would include a piece of bulletproof glass, a glass transaction window with a tray, you know, for handling business with the court. And looks like he's going to do the main entrance over here. He's going to take that wall out, install the glass and add a shelf on each side, relocate a light switch, and then we're going to have a door there and a door on this end because we need to wall off this area and put a door because we still need to be able to access the ADA ramp for people that need to come in. Tape, float, and painting is all included, and the price on that was $7,500. The price for the glass is $42.75. So we're looking at,
And Mayor, my intention was to call them, and since they are in Cibolo, and see if we can pick it up
the glass
and save
on
the
shipping.
500. And that 500 possibly, I'm sorry?
They don't actually manufacture the glass there. They have a plant outside Texas where it's actually fabricated to the size and the specifications that we supplied. So the weight on the glass is pretty heavy. So the shipping is not from Cibolo to here. It's from
There to
manufacturing
Cibolo, okay.
to Texas.
Because one of the things that Mr. Mendoza mentioned was when you close off a little hallway over there for ADA, there's no light. So he said for an additional 500, he would install a light down there and also put electricity in the wall for plugs, not just move those two switches over, but he would move the switches into the wall and an electric outlet for an additional 500.
I know it was also suggested that the wall here have a Kevlar sheet on either side of the window. I don't have a price on that. It's a thin film that they put on,
Just a film.
just a film over the drywall.
Oh.
Is that Tyvek stuff?
No, it's not Tyvek. It's Kevlar, which is bullet resistant. I don't know that it's
Right.
bulletproof.
What was the, okay, 'cause I had a cost from the manufacturer for, it's plexiglass, that's level 1 security, and the cost on that stuff was $16.10 a square foot.
And that goes
So-
over the glass.
No, this goes on the wall
On the
itself.
walls.
On the glass.
No, the glass is
no,
okay,
this
it was
is-
the
would be if
walls.
you want additional protection on the wall itself.
Yes,
A few feet out or whatever. So if you bought a 4x8 sheet, you're talking about a little over $500 a sheet, 4x8 sheet. Then you could cut that to fit however you wanted to place it. I don't know what coverage, what you're trying to cover on that wall. You're covering like 2 feet or 3 feet out
The
from
whole
the
wall.
window
No,
itself,
the
the
whole
whole wall itself. Well, then you need to measure the square footage there and figure it up at $16.10 a square foot. And again, that's level 1 protection. Marshall's probably knows more about the levels of protection, but on level 1, it's basically going to stop a 9mm bullet. Anything above that, 357, a 44, 30 cal, it's not going to stop. It's going to go right through it.
Catherine, this 7,500 includes the doors, or just installing the doors and we have to purchase those separate?
I told him we could probably get them very inexpensively, so it does not include the
It
doors.
does not include the doors.
And yeah, are we talking steel doors? Steel frame,
Solid.
steel door?
Just
They're either
solid.
gonna be, I would think steel would be better. We could do solid core, or we could do metal doors.
So you don't think the estimate for 75 includes the doors? I would think that it would include the
Well, it
doors.
says a 36-inch door, but it doesn't say what kind of
Add
door.
wall
It just
and the
says
door. Yeah.
Add a wall and a 36-inch door.
I mean, it could just be it could be, you're doing a lot of security, but if you don't have a
Right.
security
It
door,
It
then
can't
you
be a cord, wood cord door. It needs to be a solid
Exactly.
steel door,
Right.
steel frame as well. So I know we're trying to get ahead of the curve here, get this done, but we may need to
I think
get
we need
more
to bring it back.
explanation on this.
Now, I do know that he was going to, the price did include, do we have a night answer on that?
I forgot to sign it. Or DMD.
He was gonna reinforce the frames on the doors so they couldn't be kicked in.
I would think that he would be using a steel door, steel frame if he's reinforcing. Yeah.
He knows
Can we
of a
table this
steel
till
frame.
the next meeting, first meeting in September?
Yeah, I
We
think so.
can get more clarification.
because we can,
If we want to go with the level 1 protection as far as the walls, this material is kind of like plexiglass. And so it would go on the wall behind the sheetrock, so you still have the sheetrock. So this individual would be tasked to also install that material if that's what we want to do. So we may need to talk to him about that as well.
Okay. So, would you like to make a motion to postpone this?
Yeah, I move we table this till the next meeting, next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion by Alderman Tremblay and a second by Alderman Rapino to table this item until our next regular meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Item 6 on the agenda, public hearing on the proposed 2019-2020 fiscal year budget for the city of Sandy Oaks. This budget will raise more total property taxes than last year's budget by $39,824.03, and 13% of that amount is $13,405.12 is tax revenue to be raised from new property added to the tax roll this year. This time is provided for citizens to address the mayor and council on the proposed budget. Please limit your time to a period not to exceed 3 minutes. we have one person who signed up to speak on the budget. That would be Karen Mendiola Tanguma. You have, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on just one moment. 6:45, we're going to start the public hearing. Okay?
Okay, so I was looking at your numbers. Some numbers popped out for municipal judge and prosecutor, $45,000 each. I thought they were like once a month, part-time, so that seemed kind of excessive to me. I don't know if that's what it is. Also, there's one more thing. Payroll processing, it seemed like it's costing a lot of money. What's ER tax? I don't know what that is. For the
ER is employer.
Oh, employer tax, okay. So it seems to have doubled, but I guess since we have more employees. And then just, I was wondering where, that's crazy, but the line item for the homeowner association, we were getting some money in. I'm not sure if you're still getting money in, but it's disappeared on the budget. And that's about it. Oh, they don't have cancer. Okay, so those are my concerns. I'm not sure where those numbers are like they are.
Okay.
Here's your thing.
So everybody should have this document in front of you, yes? Pardon? That's all the speakers. I don't think this is working, David.
It was?
Oh, an large IT number, 16,000. They just got a new. They just got a new.
You want to trade out?
We used to have a problem.
That's two.
Testing, testing.
Two guys.
Testing,
They're
testing.
gonna install.
You want to trade me out?
Did they need a battery in it? Did they have batteries in it?
I noticed, I think 4 and 8 or 2 and 8 or something like that.
I don't recall.
Is that better? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, so the very first thing that I want to let everybody know is that the intent in this budget is not to change the existing tax rate. I think we can make a go of it with the tax rate remaining the same, which is 23 point, shoot,
23.
yes. So we would leave that alone. And then the additional revenue that came in is, some of that is new properties that are on the tax roll, and the other is the result of the county assessment. So, you know, some people's taxes went, their assessed values went up. So the carryover, I'll give you an idea of where that number comes from, that 390,000. If you go to the bottom of the second page, where we look at our prior year budget compared to what we've spent for the first 11 months, there's a carryover potential of $391,796. So just for ease of math, I just put $390,000 on the carryover. So the ad valorem taxes is the calculated value of the current tax rate. Franchise fees, that is the amount that we get from CPS as a percentage of all of the electric bills. So as new properties come on board, they get electricity. New businesses come on board, more electricity is generated. And you can tell from the budget that we're working on this year, only $80,553 was budgeted. And for the first 11 months, we're already at $115,117. And Catherine, do we get one more deposit?
I don't
For
think we do.
CPS?
We got
I think it
one
comes in
this month
September.
though.
I mean, I think it comes first part of October.
Yeah.
Okay.
No more.
So we may not get any more on there. The interest from investments is estimated to be $1,700. That number came from the reserve funds that we put into the investment pool, and Alderman Rapino has provided me with this number. Sales tax is another item. You can see on the budget for this year, it was only budgeted at $61,905. As of the first 11 months of this year, we're already at $101,936. We're averaging about $10,000 a month on that. I expect sales tax revenue to continue to grow when the Jack's Corner finally is up and operational. The Mexican restaurant's going to be serving mixed drinks. That's going to generate more sales tax. So I'm looking to add quite a bit of sales tax revenue. Not really, I mean probably $20,000. Petty cash is just set at $50, and that's basically people come in, they want something faxed, they want to make copies. It's just a line item holding fund. The next two line items are for $25,000 apiece. These were approved. These line items were approved at a previous meeting when we decided to put the MTA tax on the ballot to abolish. And this $50,000 total is a very conservative number. I would expect it to be much higher than that, but for this exercise, I just put it in as a 25 apiece on that. The fines and fees would be generated from activity through the courts. Again, this is an unknown. We don't have a baseline to operate on from this, so just doing a little figuring and looking at some other cities and talking to some other people, that's just the number we're going to go with for this time. And just so everybody knows, this is not how the budget looks, but for this discussion, it made sense to put it in this format because I think it helps understand what goes into making the budget. So we move on to personnel.
Well, I wanted to ask,
Sure.
the police and crime fund and the street drainage funds, that only is, if the VIA is,
Yes.
we don't get that if,
No. It's a net sum zero in the budget, because if you go down here to under reserve on the second page, you'll see 25,000 each for expense on that. So it's not a gain, it's a net sum zero. If that goes away, this goes away, the expense goes away. But just
but there's no
because-
guarantee though that we'll get it though.
No,
because-
not until the election's
Yeah.
over, we won't know. So that's why I built it in this way.
Okay.
Under personnel, the first line item is, excuse me, for the city clerk, and budgeting $32,250. We budgeted $32 in the current year, and for the first 11 months, we're actually at $26,803. There's a little bit of a excuse me, a buffer in there because the clerk does work overtime from time to time just because of meetings and public information requests and just the needs of the business. The court clerk is estimated, she's currently working 16 hours a week at $25 an hour. So assuming that we continue on that path throughout the year, that's the amount that goes in here for the court clerk. Public Works is for one full-time, and we're still looking to hire another full-time. So that would be bringing them in at the lower rate, the $12.50, and Chris is currently at $15.
So it's two full-time or one full-time?
It's two full-time, but at different rates. The marshal, that includes the current marshal and a full-time deputy. These are just strictly the salary numbers. All the other numbers that add to that are included elsewhere. So are there any questions on the personnel line?
If, for the for the Public Works, the 45 that's budgeted really, it's not gonna take care of 2 full-timers if we've got one employee at 36. So if we do one at $12.50.
Oh, you know what, you're right, that is set,
and
that
we're
that is
still
set at
short-
part-time.
We're still short on the Public Works. for the
Sorry, that was
Public Works
last year.
employee.
Hold on, so let's put it at 2080. That puts it at 57.7 would be the new number for Public Works.
And that's not considering a raise or anything?
No, that's, I think she.
That's 57.7 total for the
57,700
2 Public Works.
for the two, yes. Okay, any other questions on personnel? Okay, under contracted services, for our annual audit, putting in here 8,500 for the auditor. You can see in the current year budget, 20,000 was budgeted because 2 years of audits were conducted. And the price that the auditor charged us was a bit extravagant. And I know that we can get a better price and probably get a quicker turn on that. I put a little extra in there. I've heard we could probably get it as far as 65, but I don't want to cut us too short. So I think 85 is a good number there.
Nikki, you're distorting for some
That's,
reason. Back off a little. Is it the?
Doug's mic is on.
Oh,
Doug's mic is on. It might be interfering.
okay. The internal auditor. Oh wow, that's much.
Your other one was doing that right before it went out, so it might be an indication.
Internal auditor, that was approved as, and actually, she is an employee. That goes up on the personnel line. But that's 10 hours a month at $15 an hour, so that would be the annual amount. That doesn't sound right. That's not right. Hang on a minute.
Per month.
No, I think it is.
10 times 15. Well,
That's
that's
150 a
15
month times 12. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1,800 there. Interim city administrator, I put it 25,200. We budgeted 30,395, and you can see we only spent under 17 on that. City attorney, we have budgeted 55 for the last 2 years. And I think the city auditor has been offsetting some, the interim city administrator has been offsetting some of the work that we were pushing to the attorney. So I think we can get by with the city attorney at 52.5. City engineer would be 40,000, and that fee is calculated based on, God, that is terrible. Thank you. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. The city engineer is basically, and I know I saw him come in here. Hi. Correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the payments to the engineer is a percentage of the projects that you're working on. There's a fee built into that, so, okay. So just based on the projects I know that you're working on, I put 40,000 in there. The municipal judge and the prosecutor, that is 25 hours a month at $150 an hour. And I checked with both the judge and the prosecutor on that. And they, again, it's unknown. We're not quite sure what it's going to be. But up here on the fees and fines that come in, those are intended, they're intended to offset the cost of the judge and the prosecutor. It's not a one-for-one, but that's how that's supposed to work. So are there any questions on contracted services? No? Okay. On utilities, telecom, we're going to put it at 9,500, and that's pretty much in line with what we've been doing. Electricity, we budgeted 24,522, and that was because we were expecting to see an increase for some additional streetlights that were installed. You can see we've only spent 16,700, I think 22,000 for next year. That would include the streetlights, which have all been completed as of now. And then water, so far we've only spent $295, so I'm okay with leaving that at $752 as it has been.
What about the electricity and water for this building?
That's included in the electricity numbers.
So it's included?
Everything, yeah.
Electricity and streetlights.
Is the electricity and water, is that also included for the animal shelter also?
Well, that's why the $752 for the water, we're only spending about $300, so we should have enough for
This is what we
water
spent.
and the electricity.
No, I was just wondering if you had considered the animal.
Yeah, I did, yes.
So you,
Okay. Move on. Okay, under administrative, building maintenance, we had 20,000 set aside for this year, and we didn't spend, that there was an expectation that we may have to do some improvements. That did not happen, but based on the item we just talked about a little bit ago, putting 15 of that in there to address that need. The ER taxes, the employer taxes, that is a calculation off of the salaries, and that's estimated to be $12,500. Benefits is the same thing. Basically, on the benefits, I budget as if everybody will take advantage of the benefits, and that is $285 per employee per month. It's 65% of the $385 is basically what it is. Workers' comp, since we're adding additional employees, this is all calculated based on the rates that they provided to us and the head count that we're proposing. Insurance, which is our liability insurance, I expect it to go up just a little bit because of a future item that's going to happen. I have a question for you. So, yeah, there'll be something coming in the future that we'll talk about that would cause our insurance to go up just a little bit. I don't know by how much, but I figure an extra $500 should cover that. On IT services, at our last meeting last week, we did a contract for IT services, and the annual rate on that is $16,500. The next line, administration, training, community programs, conference and travel, bank fees, estimated to be at $4,500. So we had 48. We've only spent 748 on that. But like National Night Out's coming up in October, so we have money set aside to pay for that. And we haven't done any travel. I mean, Chris did some travel for the ACO training, but for training for the council, we haven't done any of that. Bear County Appraisal District, that's the fee that they charge us for collecting the money for us. The next item is for books, newspaper publications, supplies, postage, and printing. I'm going to drop that line item just a little bit from what we had this year. I think we can do better on that one. And then payroll processing, we had budgeted 5,200. We've only done about 2,200, so I'm proposing 3,600, which is also, Catherine, they charge per person that they
In the
process?
beginning, it's
per-
like from 1 to 3 employees, and
They've tiered
then,
it.
yeah, it's tiered, so it keeps changing.
Okay. Is there any questions on the administrative numbers?
Just kind of the same I asked a while ago, is the building maintenance and the insurance, does that for the animal shelter also? Did
No,
you
that building,
consider
it's this
those?
building. We haven't gotten animal control yet.
Well, I know, but in the budget, we're going to need it. That's why I was asking if it's considered.
For building maintenance?
For maintenance insurance.
Oh, for insurance?
For insurance, yeah.
Well, and maintenance too. I mean, there probably won't be much,
But
but,
this is,
shouldn't be.
that animal is not administrative. This is this building.
okay, so well, that's what I was asking. if it
Yeah,
was
we'll get
just a
to
building.
animal control later.
Okay.
Okay, on the marshal's office, let me get to that screen. Okay, so for the marshal's office, this includes $5,000 for equipment purchases, $3,500 for fuel, $5,000 for supplies, and another $5,000 for maintenance on the vehicles. That's where the 18.5 comes from. So this year, we did a lot of the one-time purchases so that we didn't have, we can go strictly into maintaining the department going forward. And these other items are just what is needed.
So these are these supply costs? What do these numbers reflect?
The supply costs,
For-
those would be like the stickers he bought.
So that's what the 18.5 is, those are his supplies?
Yes,
That's-
it's
okay,
it's equipment and supplies and fuel and maintenance on the vehicles.
Like 18.5,
Yeah.
okay. Doesn't seem like a lot.
What would you recommend?
Do you have any suggestions as to what you think your supply budget should be for the year?
For right now, because the things that I haven't, I'm still building on things that we need. So for now, I think that would be appropriate because I still have to order a lot of stuff for just miscellaneous things that I
Right,
need.
I think a lot of the things that you use are consumed in their use.
Consumables, yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of things you have now are going to be, you're going to deplete those stocks
Yes.
at some point. So you should have, at some point, have a restock level. At what level would you restock? And I'm not asking you to answer that right now. I'm just thinking that you should consider that and look at what you purchased at the date and think, well, okay, this will probably last me, 4 months, 6 months, at which point I'll have to reorder. But this isn't, and we talked about the tape, the printing stuff you need for tickets. And I know we said that stuff was expensive. And so those are the types of things I think need to go in here. I just don't think the 18,000 is going to get through the year. What did we say that the material was for your printer, for the vehicles? Did we mention a cost?
I don't think we had a cost, they just said it was,
Yeah, they said it was expensive.
Yes.
So I just, want to take that in a consideration and
Mayor, you have 12,700 that you took out of Public Works, that you...
no, I did not take it out, I put it in.
She had to do it.
Oh, you did.
Because this would be the cost to also repair vehicles,
You're right.
wouldn't it?
Well, that includes $5,000 for vehicle repairs.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Well, we have $5,000 for equipment, $3,500 for fuel, which He hasn't used a lot of fuel, but.
All that eventually, I'm sorry, Mayor, all that is, as we continue to progress and move forward, and we bring on, the extra deputy, fuel costs are gonna go up, because we're,
Right.
that's an extra added, and things like that. Vehicle maintenance costs as well, oil changes, anything that arises, so,
Tires.
tires.
I would just say we need to be prepared next fiscal year to just move some money around it, just so that everyone's aware of that. I just don't think when Marshall Lopez comes back and says, say, I'm gonna need some money for supplies, we need to reflect back on, we didn't really give him enough. I don't think we're giving him enough.
Well, and again, if the MTA tax is abolished, we have 25,000 that would be
So that can be
allocated.
utilized.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, we can move on. Thanks.
Okay. Municipal court is 14,500, and that is also for supplies and equipment. Again, the court is new. We don't know exactly how everything is going to work out. But that does include court supplies for 9,500 and municipal court other for 5,000. That's where the 14,500 comes from.
Pick up your clothes.
On Public Works, we had to trim that one back a little bit. 20,250. Okay, so that includes 2,500 for fuel, litter removal of 3,250, and that basically is the big dumpster that we have in the yard that we're paying for.
And occasionally the big one that we could probably get rid of soon.
Well, that's the one I meant. was the
Oh, I
big
thought you
one.
meant the 2-yard.
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
The 2 yard's not that bad.
Mm.
2,000 for street barricades and guardrails, 3,500 for street signs. Hold on. Okay, so 2,500 just for fuel, 3,250 for litter removal,
It's gonna go out again.
2,000 for street barricades and guardrails, 3,500 for street signs, 6,500 for tools and equipment, and that would include any equipment that needs to be rented for a project, and 2,500 for vehicle maintenance. That makes up the 20,250. Any questions on that? Okay, the next item is projects. We have 2 listed for 50,000. One of them Parks and Recreation for 25 and street maintenance for 25. Under animal control,
You want to switch out with someone?
huh?
Do you want to switch mics with someone? That one's going out too.
Oh, I'll be done here in a minute. Okay, so the 25,000, or I'm sorry, 20,000 for animal control is for containment and facilities, equipment and supplies, and veterinary services. And looking at 8,500 on containment and facilities, and another 8,500 on vet services. Oh, that's the wrong number, hold on. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry, those numbers, 8250 on containment, 3500 on supplies, and 8250 on vet services. So the cost of addressing the animals once our facility is open will go down considerably. Most of our vet charges that have happened this year are related to boarding because we didn't have a place to keep them. So I do expect those prices to decrease.
What is the containment facility?
The kennel?
Well, I know, is that for maintenance or?
Yeah,
or-
you wanted to know about maintenance
Yeah.
for that building, yes.
Okay.
It could also be used for retrofitting one of the other buildings up there for storage or additional unit for animals.
And that will also be for the water and electricity?
No.
No.
Or is that going to be in the other one?
That water and electricity is in the other.
Okay. Do we have I didn't see a line item to install the electricity. Is that going to be taken out of this?
I'm hoping to get that done out of this year's budget.
Okay.
That's what we're working on.
Okay.
Election expense, 8,500. We've been budgeting 10,000 every year for that. We never spend that amount. And you can see for this year, we got a substantial credit back for prior years. So 85 may be too much, but I don't know if it is or it's not. But I think we can get by with that. And then under reserves, the first two items we talked about, if the via tax does not pass, then those two line items would go away, as well as the revenue on the top line. We need to have an economic survey done in order to be able to apply for any grants. I have no idea what that's going to cost. It's basically paying people to go knock on doors and get information. So I'll be working with HUD to figure out how we go about doing that. 7,500 was assigned for commercial development. That would be for advertising or mail-outs or the road medallions on the signs on the highway, advertising for the businesses that we have here in our community or those that are coming to the community. The next item is the Lost Hills Low Water Crossing project that was already approved this year. It just has not happened yet. So we put that on the assigned line item. And the master plan is currently underway. So we're moving that money over to the next fiscal year for $53,000 and then leaving our restricted reserves, excuse me, at $125,750. So the numbers as they were presented were balanced. What will have to happen now is some adjustment will need to be made to account for the public works. So I don't know that we need to approve this one this evening. We're not quite ready.
Is 25,000 enough for the street maintenance?
Well, that's all we have available. Now, Doug, if you think about it, we're putting $220,000 into a road that is technically street maintenance. So for this next fiscal year, that's all we got.
Would we consider adding a monthly stipend to the investment that we have? That, you know, it's $125,750 now. But we want to, if we have money available, would we not want to
Excuse
add-
me. Keep it down, please. I can't hear you. Say it again.
I said if we have money available, would we not want to add to that 125,750?
If we had it available, we certainly could. The restricted reserves are set aside for the 3 months operating money. And certainly we want to build up our reserves over time. This number here keeps us where we need to be.
Well, the only reason I was concerned is because if the street bond doesn't pass, then you're only gonna have $25,000.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, but again, it's really not just 25,000. It's 245,000.
Because of Lost Hills.
Yeah, but that's already assigned to something else, though.
What is?
The 220,000.
It's assigned to a street
Yeah.
project. Yes.
So the 25,000 is for the rest of the city.
For the rest of the city. Exactly. And we looked at, well, I don't have it on here, under street maintenance. Yeah, we've already spent 25,204 this year, and that's just really for supplies
And patching.
and patches, and we really haven't had a crew come out and do the work. Any other questions on there? Anything else we need to address?
So basically, we need to find 12.7 for Public Works. And then the proposed budget would meet, would be balanced. So where can we get 12.7 from?
It has to come from the top line. I don't know. I mean, we could add it to sales tax and franchise fee. Really, those are the only places we have to work with.
Unless we take it from another line item.
Okay, where do you want to take it from?
No, we want to do that.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, that's what, one of the things we could do.
Yeah, I mean, it's already as lean as it can be. Now, the other side of that is that we don't have the head count in place. This budget here assumes all head count is in place on day one, and we know that's not going to be happening. We still have a deputy that we haven't hired yet, and we still have a public works employee we have not hired yet. We have an interim city administrator we have not hired yet, so some of that will probably come from that, but
Okay, so if we took it from the franchise fee,
I want to
we'd
add
still
it,
be safe, right?
You have to add it to.
add it to,
Right.
you want to split it between the two, between sales tax and franchise? I
Well,
mean,
we
we're
know the
talking,
franchise
we're only on
is-
12.
12.7.
Yeah, either one's got buffers, so I mean, 64 from each one.
63.50.
Okay, we'll add $63.50 to each one of those. And we'll be back in balance. So that's going to change the top line and the bottom line number. I keep hitting the wrong button here. So that makes our total revenue number $1,138,461. And that would also make the bottom line number the same. And I'm pretty comfortable with these numbers because there's another sheet that was added here, and this is just a snapshot out of the certified rolls that were provided to us from the county. In Sandy Oaks, there are over 1,000 vacant lots here in Sandy Oaks. So the growth is still there. I see properties being developed every day out here. So that will contribute to the franchise fee, that will contribute to the ad valorem taxes, because they start collecting those, from the very first payment. So I think this is a very doable budget. And of course, this is the plan for the coming year. So we line out what projects we're going to be working on, where we expect to be spending our money, and that's the plan we use to move down the road. Things happen. Sometimes we have to adjust midstream depending on what happens, but for now, this is what we've got to work with. So our option here is to go ahead and approve the budget as presented. And if that is something the council would like to do, I do have a script that the person making the motion would need to read.
I move we accept the budget as presented. Okay. Here's the motion that, to accept the budget as presented. I move to approve an ordinance adopting the 2019-2020 fiscal budget presented to the City Council by the Mayor with amendments for the support of the general government of the City of Sandy Oaks to be fixed and determined for said terms in accordance with the expenditures shown in the city's fiscal year 2019-2020 budget.
Oh, did you mean without amendments?
With amendments.
With amendments. I didn't know. Did you say it with or without?
I said with.
You said with, okay. Okay, can I have that, Matt?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Rapino and a second by Alderman Tremblay to accept the budget with amendments as presented. This will require a record vote, so I will call each member and ask for your vote on this motion. Alderman Rapino?
Aye.
Alderman Tremblay?
Or?
Alderman Walker?
Yes.
Alderman Thomasini?
Yes.
Okay. This page. So that motion carries. So we're going to propose, or we're going to propose the tax rate at a subsequent meeting, but for this evening, we can go ahead and ratify the tax rate in the budget. This is not approving the tax rate. That will come in a separate meeting. This is just ratifying the tax rate that was used for the budget. So if anyone would like to make a motion on that particular item, we could take care of that this evening.
I'll move that.
Wait, nope.
Okay.
We have-
I always got a special script for this one too, okay. Is this one here?
Yes, it is down there.
Could you shut hers off?
I move that having adopted the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget that will require raising more revenue from property taxes than in the previous year. I move to adopt an ordinance ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the fiscal 2019-2020 budget, which is the amount of $39,824.03. 13% of that amount, $13,405.12, is tax revenue to be raised from new property tax added to the tax roll this year and reflected in the 2019-2020 fiscal year budget adopted on August 28, 2019.
Okay. Send it back this way. Does this require record vote as well? Okay.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion by Alderman Rapino and a second by Alderman Tremblay to ratify the tax rate in the adopted budget. This does not require a record vote, but I think we will do that anyway, so I will go through each of you. Alderman Rapino,
Yes.
Alderman Tremblay,
Yes.
Alderman Walker,
Yes.
Alderman Thomasini.
Yes.
All right, that carries. Thank you very much. Okay, it is 7:33 p.m. We are going to take a quick recess for 10 minutes, and then we will come back and begin the public town hall meeting for... Oh, sorry. Wait. I did. I got out of line there. Sorry, number 9. Discuss and or possible action on setting a meeting date to adopt the tax rate to support the 2019-2020 fiscal year budget and publish a notice of a proposed tax rate, such rate not to exceed .238367 per $100 of valuation. The date for publication, well, the date for the meeting is the 12th. Is that correct?
Yes.
The 12th.
Yes.
And the notice needs to be published by the 4th. So I think we already have that set up to go.
On Friday, I'll send it to Wilson County.
So at our previous meeting, we had agreed to do this by September 11th. So
12th.
those dates will meet the 12th?
I think that's the meeting date. The 12th is the meeting date.
Okay.
Y'all voted to publish the notice for the 11th, but the regular meeting date falls on September 12th. So,
Oh,
and that
okay.
just happens to be 30 days after the budget was filed.
Got it, okay. So I need a motion to set the date to adopt the tax rate to be the 12th, is that correct?
Yeah. I move
And-
to
Okay, go ahead.
set the meeting date to adopt the proposed tax rate at on 12 September 2019. And that the proposed tax rate should not exceed
No, publish.
.238. Right, and that the notice be published in the Wilson County News.
I'll second.
Okay. So we have a motion by Alderman Tremblay to set a meeting date to adopt the tax rate for September 12th and to publish the notice in the Wilson County News. And that would happen for the release on the 4th.
September.
Yes.
Do we have to say what time or anything?
What time?
Yeah, do we have to?
It's a
say-
regular meeting.
Yeah, it's just a
Normal
regular.
time.
And Alderman Rapino did second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion carries. We will move, it is now 7:36 PM. We will take a 10-minute break and we will come back and begin the town hall meeting. And so,
Thank you, Doug. You had all the questions that I had about,
all right,
you know, we're leaving concerned about the bid doesn't have, things like that. It's kind of, but I think that we're going to be like a grant. But I'm not sure if we're in a position to actually do grant with that $220,000.
everybody that's here.
There's a lot of hard work to be done there to maybe turn that into a grant. You know what I mean? Because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, if you can get one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe this new
I don't see
interim.
very many roads.
Oh, yeah. So we're gonna.
Most of them.
I guess my concern is that these things don't count. I know she put like reserve in there, if you know what I mean? For some items, but
Well, it's a,
not all
well,
of them.
I
Yeah.
just,
We'll see what
we're hoping
happens.
it works.
I know, right?
Hang on.
All righty.
Hi, Mark.
Sandra?
How are you?
Doing well.
I saw you coming in.